United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, everyone's here except for Jesse Stewart. He's asked to be excused, so we will do that. Approval of the previous minutes, please.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for January 16th, 2024. Is that what you have, Barb?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed of any? Motion passes. No petitions. Am I speaking out of turn, Liz? None? No petitions, remonstrances, or communications? Okay, we have Tina here from the Office of Tourism. She has a little something for us here.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to be here today. For those who don't know me, my name is Tina Grange. I'm the tourism specialist and film liaison for Carbon County. So I do all the touristy things. So my job, I'm tasked with marketing Carbon County as a destination, highlighting the assets that we have. And a part of those assets are museums. So museums have the potential to bring that certain visitor that's looking to learn about the history of an area, what cultural assets and things like that we have. And so 2 years ago, Don Logston reached out to me and let me know that East Carbon was putting together an East Carbon Museum. I wasn't aware of it, and at that time it was just a thought that you were getting started, and I think that's amazing.
Can I stop you one
Yeah.
second? That museum was started in 2014, I think.
But then it closed,
But then
right? Kind of died down.
Kinda just revamped
And what I love about that is like the volunteers that have come together. Most of the time museums are funded through donations, and a lot of times it's the volunteers and those people within a community that desire to make change, or they love their community so much they want to give back to their communities, and also people that come into the area. So every other Tuesday we do a Travel Tuesday segment, and we have teamed up with the local radio DJs where I go to radio, we have a live spot where we highlight a destination within our county, and then we also highlight a foodies place within the area. And then we leave the radio and we actually go to that destination and have an experience, and we're able to share all of the content that we create that day on both Facebook pages and Instagram pages for the county and the radio station. So just a really quick educational piece. A lot of people don't understand how our department is funded. And so we're a lot different from the general fund, the county budget. We're not in the general fund. And so how tourism is funded is through lodging. So transient room tax, which you get from short-term rentals and hotel stays, and then also restaurant tax. So that money comes in, goes into the tourism budget, and the way that it's set up is the state draws up statute for that and tells us what we need to have in order to spend that money. And one of those things is having a tax advisory board that has to be made up of the majority of the people that pay that tax. So these are people who work or own restaurants, they work in the lodging industry, guides and outfitters, things like that. And so basically that means that I can't just spend the money however I want to, although I have a lot of wishes and dreams. So what usually happens about December before the county approves final budget is Shani and I, she is the director of tourism, we work together and we put together a budget in priority order. So what we think is a priority that money be spent on. And then we have to present it to that board for recommendations. So they're an advisory board, and we discuss the budget. And I will say that this is the first year since I started in 2016 that the board had no recommendations and accepted the budget as we presented it and made a recommendation to pass it. So one of those things that I included for the first time ever was donations to our museums, because I do feel that museums is a big tourism piece in what we're doing, everybody knows that things have changed for our communities as far as coal and oil and gas. And Carbon County is working diligently to diversify and come up with ways on how to build our economy. And so tourism is a little piece of that, because, you know, we're not the huge destination where tourism is going to carry us and be everything, but it's an intricate piece to what we do. And from tourism efforts also turns into economic development, brings people into the area. People, the things that we say tourism, which I sometimes feel like we can take that word out and just call it a quality of life and the things the locals love, right? Because what we're promoting is what our residents already enjoy doing. So I always talk too much. I got sidetracked. So Travel Tuesday, we chose museums and we reached out to Bohuff's Museum, and we paid a visit there, and then we reached out to Dawn and Mayor Avery and asked to see the East Carbon Museum. It is one of the funnest trips that we did, and it might be because I grew up here. CJ McManus grew up here, he works for the radio station, and we had so much fun going through those old yearbooks and finding pictures of our family members and pictures of ourselves where our hair was way too big. But with that said, one of the recommendations that we made to the board was the museum donations. And so once those recommendations are made, that actually then has to go to public meeting to our Carbon County Commissioners, who make the final decision and approve that. And so this isn't something that's coming from me. This is an idea that I had that I presented, which was approved by our Tax Advisory Board and ultimately approved by our Carbon County Commission. So with that said, I am very excited to present East Carbon with a donation of $5,000 for the museum in hopes that that will take you to the next level this year in whatever your goals are.
That's
So
amazing.
We have lots of ways to spend it.
there's a real check in there too. Hopefully it helps continue to do things like that. So, anyway,
That's great.
you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
When you look at council members' reports, you'll see Donnie is Parks and Cemetery, and he has just gone out and taken this thing on at the museum. What do you want us to do with it? Any ideas? It's up to us. Or?
There's only one restriction, which is not an issue because you guys run on volunteers. You can't use it for wages. So,
Okay.
Oh, darn.
yeah.
I thought maybe I might have.
Sorry, Miss Robinette, we can't pay you.
Your paying job history's through.
Yeah.
I have a question about the museum. Are they going to open it?
It's open every Wednesday
It will
from
never
9
be
until
open,
noon.
it will never be open full-time
Why?
because there's no traffic. There's no foot traffic.
Yeah.
Usually in 1 month period, there might be 4 or 5 people come, period. So we can't pay anybody to stay up there 5 days a week and pay them a wage. It's not feasible.
Volunteers.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing.
That's what we've got.
but us volunteers have a lot of other places that we volunteer for. And so we give it the 1 day a week that we can go up there and do stuff. And our numbers are here at the city. You can call anytime, and we'll be glad to come up here and open the museum for you. So we've made that available, but we've done a lot of work over there in the last 2 years. So
We open it Saturdays and Sundays if people desire, but it just does not make sense to have
somebody's
a
sitting
person
up
up
there.
there.
Could you say somebody wanted to bring in a group on a certain day, or bring a family in or something?
Mhm.
Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter.
Could make a special
We're
arrangement
doing,
for
yeah.
that.
That's what
And
we
we've
do.
always said that. We've put that in the newsletter.
That's what Tina does.
Yeah.
And they
We-
do that
we
with the
have-
Bohuff Museum too. It's not always open, but if you want to tour it,
Mhm.
you can call and schedule. You guys have a sign on your door, right?
Yeah.
That says,
Well,
you wanna visit the
we did
museum?
take it down because the hours what was on there.
you were getting too many calls? I'm just
No,
kidding.
I wish.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And it's been put in the newsletter several times to just call the city.
I'll make a
It's a great
suggestion.
start.
Tell
I
me what you
mean,
want.
who knows where
We
it's
try to get the class reunions in there during community days and stuff like that.
Community Days is a hot
We had,
topic.
we had probably 25 people that were, most of them, or some of them were associated with this community in the 60s with the store and things, and the service station.
From 11 till
Kind of
4
a-
that we were open.
family affair,
Yeah.
and that was on a Saturday, and
Yeah.
so we'll accommodate anybody.
Even me?
Mhm.
They've done a great job. They've worked their butts off.
Yeah.
A lot of hours, you know, and it looks great. It looks a lot better than it did a year ago.
And the stuff just keeps coming.
Yeah, the museum people were there the other day and they were so excited. They're just,
Aren't they bringing some dinosaur pieces in too? I think I talked to Tim Ryan.
They talked about that, but we were just about out of it.
Yeah,
yeah,
understandable.
they were so excited though.
Mhm.
They're coming back.
Yeah, they're coming back.
That's great.
Okay, thanks, Tina.
You're welcome.
And I'd like to drive you nuts.
Thank
And I'll
you.
be down to do it again, so.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You bet, bye-bye.
Bye, Tina.
It's a big park down there, Brett County. Yeah. I always end up in that office.
Pretty exciting, huh?
I gotta make the other. Maybe we could get her to come up and you could take pictures. Her presenting that check,
Yeah.
get a hold of ETV News.
Mhm.
That's a big deal.
That's a big
That
deal.
is
It's
a big deal.
Big deal.
Buy another cabinet.
Yeah.
Another building.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, how you
I was
guys
gonna
are
say, will
running out
that
of
pay
room.
for the addition?
Huh?
Hold on.
Okay. Dominique, you wanna get yours taken care of?
Sure.
You're the last on the agenda, but I'll put you next. And then you can leave if you need to. She has a business license application for doing nails. Take a look at the application. I think y'all have one. Y'all? I think all of you have one. Looks in order.
Tell us a little bit, Dominic.
So I just finished the nail tech program and I want to start something out of my house. I know we have a lot of that here, but I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to do manis and pedis. I really want to do pedicures mostly, so
That
And
was
then-
my question.
yes,
If you got certification,
yes.
great.
And then eventually I would like to do a traveling business, you know, more so for the people who can't really get out of their house. But I want to make sure I can like build the business first before I travel because it would be like more of an expense.
I think we'd
I
like to
know a lot
help
of
you.
people look for
Pedicures?
nail and pedicures here.
Yeah, there's a lot of manicures, but there's not very many pedicures.
Yeah.
And I prefer to do
I don't think we
pedicures.
have any pedicures here, do we?
Not that I know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
I make a motion that we approve Dominique's application for the business license.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this business license. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed of any? Passes? You're done.
All right, thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm making them right now. Thank you.
And don't forget to advertise in our paper.
Mhm.
We'll give you
Do you
one,
have a
I think.
business card or anything?
I'm in the process of making it right now.
If you want to send it to me information by the 22nd, I can put it in the newsletter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Chief Leonard, Animal Control.
Okay, yeah, Mary is requesting a few uniform items. We purchased them, pretty much the same things when she first started, but it's been over 2 years ago. She's requesting boots, a high top, regular tactical boot. The price of the boot is $120. She's requesting a short sleeve polo at $28. She's requesting a long sleeve polo at $38 and a jacket at $130. A total of $316. In the budget, under equipment and supplies, we have $2,000, at which we never even come close to spending. We haven't used any of that. Well, I take that back. We've used $90 for leashes and mostly leashes. You know, we buy them in bulk packs, and there were some heavier leashes, but anyway, it was under $100. But out of the 2,000, that's all that's been used is the $90. So $316 is the request for her to purchase this stuff. She does wear it, and she has her daughter actually, you know, print or whatever her daughter does. Each Carbon Animal Control, she does that for free. So, you know, on her shirt, so she gets that service for free. So she would like to purchase that, and I would like you to consider it.
Is that out of the animal control
Out of
budget?
animal control budget, yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the uniform purchases for Mary for animal control.
Well, second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the uniform for Mary. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed of any? Motion passes. Don't think I was kicking Tina out of here. She lives in Castledale. That's why we want to hurry and get her back on the road, get her home tonight. No introductions and adoptions or resolutions or ordinances. Let's go to council member reports. Barbara?
It was brought to our attention by Chief Leonard that there's a strip of property down the center of, between his property and Victoria Coco's property that until they did the update, it wasn't there. And so I have the pictures here, and what we need to do is the council needs to request planning and zoning to surplus this property, and then it needs to come back to council after it's been surplus so that it can be advertised for, and then bids can be taken for it. But it's a 15-foot strip down the middle of those two properties. And just to make sure, I had Todd Thorne, who's the county planning and zoning, pulled the deed for it. And so we made sure that the measurements on Victoria's property are the correct measurements. And so I'll pass these around, but this is Victoria's, this is Sam's. The middle one is a 15-foot strip down the middle. And we don't know how it happened.
What is it being used for? Nothing?
Nothing.
Is that the one over
In Columbia.
And it's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just down from Edwards, Tammy Edwards, you know.
Yeah.
So
Does
it's
it
long.
have a separate tax ID number?
It does.
for the county code?
I already checked on that and had him pull it for me.
Can we just make an informal recommendation there, Christian?
This was an update from
Well, I think you probably should go through planning and zoning and let them,
Yeah, well,
I think you can make that recommendation tonight,
to
yes.
send it to them.
Yes, I don't see any problem doing that.
Okay, it's not like it's an official vote or
I,
anything. It's
it
not on
probably
the
could have just
agenda.
started there, but I think it's fine to send it to them and have
Okay.
it, bring it back to you.
So I'd recommend that we do that. Anyone else? Any
I make a motion
Any
that
thoughts?
we send for recommendation of surplusing, and I don't know the number, Chuck's got it, the middle section there, but that 15-foot strip down the middle.
So that just never showed that before, period.
No. See, and then they went through and redistricted everything and made new addresses and everything for Columbia, and then all of a sudden it showed up.
There you go, Sam.
Yeah, make a good alley, I guess.
Yeah.
You better watch out, it might make it into a racetrack.
As soon as I get that back, I'll read it. Well, I'll just give you the number. I'll just give you that, and
Okay.
then,
Then I'll just put it.
Any more questions on the motion? You okay, Liz?
Yeah.
Had a chance to look at it? Don't want to run these past you too fast.
So is the motion to send it back to planning and zoning to surplus?
Okay, I'll entertain a second.
What will,
Because that's the way it's
Is that-
supposed to officially be done. If the council wants a property surplus, then you have to pass it through council, then it has to go to planning and zoning to have it surplus. Then we bring it back to council and council puts it up for bid, so.
Okay, I'll entertain a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed of any? Motion passes. Any more, Laura?
And that's it, that's,
I may have you talk in Jesse's tonight.
I did have one more thing. We did not, when we made the new ordinances, put in anything about tiny houses. And we had somebody from Salt Lake that has bought a property and wants to put in tiny houses. And so we're looking at our ordinances and they say the square footage of the houses have to be a certain amount. Because when we brought that up, we didn't want people to bring in containers and build small houses. And so this
And
guy's,
single wides?
yeah, so this guy's quite upset, so he might come to council here. But he is on the agenda for planning and zoning from Salt Lake on the.
If he comes, you could ask
yeah.
for a modification in that ordinance to approve an area or something here.
For tiny houses, I don't
Tiny
know.
houses, I don't know.
I don't know that we're.
Have you guys talked about it any?
Depends on the tiny house.
Yeah, we
You know,
have talked
if
about
we're
it.
looking at storage containers or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
When you say the house, the
Yeah.
prefab type tiny house, you see,
So I don't know if that would bring more people in that can not afford regular size houses, and I don't know that, because we're not zoned for tiny houses down in either of the towns. And so you'd have to change the zoning and everything for it.
Things keep going the way
And
they
some
are, we
of them
may get
really
more
quite
requests
nice,
for that.
Yeah.
And they're very affordable,
Yeah,
but,
I just thought
you
I'd
know,
bring that up, but yeah, I don't have a problem with talking in Jesse's, so.
all the
Be
details that
open-minded
we
at
need to.
least.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Don Logston, Parks and Cemeteries and Museum.
okay, Cody and I talked about the new East Carbon Cemetery and possibly this spring developing another section. And I think we're gonna be okay with water. So I told him unless something drastic happens, we should do that. They can blade it, the water lines are already there, they would have to do sprinklers and everything, he told me, but it might not be that much of a deal to get it at least to where we could probably have a hydrant scene is the best thing, I think,
Yeah,
but
he's going out for bids on that right now, really is, so.
we're gonna sell some more plots. I had some people from Colorado contact me last week, and the lots are going pretty quick, so I think now's the time to do that.
It's almost a must right now.
Yeah.
And I know I was here when you guys had one conversation about charging a higher price for those that were not residents of the community. Would these,
I don't like that myself because 99% of the people that are being buried up here have ties to this community. I think, on the other side of that, I think we need to think about raising the prices. Every cemetery in the county is over $1,000 for an opening and closing of the block. We're sitting at $450
Oh, wow.
for $180
That's a big
opening and
difference.
closing.
A little more on weekends, though, no? A little bit more on
I
weekends.
think it's about 100 more.
200.
No, it's more than that.
220, I think.
No, I think it's about 100 more.
I don't think it is.
It's like 240, I think, on a weekend.
But I think we need to look at that, increase in the cost of the plot. The opening and closing most times are are included in the funeral costs for Mitchell's, Fawcett's and that, but I think we probably should look at increasing the cost of our lots. I hate to say that, but
So when the opening and closing is included in the funeral home,
yeah.
so does that money come back to the
Yeah, they
city?
send us
Yeah.
a check.
So we still set that price?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they just raised their price at the funerals, because we just did my sister's, and it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
The price they told me was different for it, but they might charge a little bit more for handling that, for the bill.
Yeah, they're gonna make a little money too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think we need to visit that pretty soon here.
And thanks for purchasing the Mini X.
Yes, exactly.
My, does it come into play there?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of places, but yes.
So there's that, and then, we need to decide about that depredation archery hunt. And my feeling, Philip and I talked about it too, but the more I think about that, the more it's a liability than a benefit for us as a city. I saw a bunch of deer in the field tonight, and I thought, you know, there's a bunch of deer, but there's also a bunch of horses right there. And the Department of Wildlife, they handle all kinds of depredation hunts. You put in for them, you know, when you put in for regular hunts, and, or later, but they're running them all over the state. Why should we have to run our own archery up here? And our situation is different than over in Emory County. All the cities are doing it over there, but they're not. They're closed. Their fields aren't enclosed, surrounded by residential areas and right in city limits. You know.
Well, and I think the added expense on the city as well, to clean it up, you know, to pick up a carcass if it's there.
I didn't like that part
Yeah.
either. I didn't like that part, but, you know, tonight there's a deer up here just got hit. So that's a problem, but I still think that's more of a liability to the city than a benefit. So I think we better, my goal is to get a hold of that Casey, and maybe we can kick it around, table it right now, get Jesse's info when he comes
Let's
back.
put on the next agenda for a vote. Let's do that.
Okay. And the last thing is a museum.
Stephanie's on tonight, she'll be glad to hear that. They got the horses down there.
Oh, well, I don't think Terry would like to see a deer die in his yard. The bear was kicking
Not
out
about
of
20 of them in the yard tonight.
Can't bother Kip, or what's his name, Nibbles?
He's got quite a following.
He does. I saw that deer in September on the mountain. He's in their yard every day. But, okay, the last thing, the museum. We had Dr. Riley and Katie Cornelli, and she's the curator of collections or whatever, I can't remember how she put it. But they brought some of the Keith Hansen collection, not much of it, but they did bring a couple of things. But they brought a nice chart, and it's about this big, and there's arrowheads all along the top, and they kind of drop off like this. So it has the more older arrowheads up here, and it's all broken down by, you know, era and years and what type of arrowheads. And it's really a nice chart. But they brought some shell beads, some slate beads, some pendants, two great big matati and manos, the grinding bowls and stones, and they're going to bring more. We have 2 more cases to fill yet. And in a couple of weeks, they're going to come up and bring some more stuff. So it's coming.
Okay.
That's really
But we're
nice.
just out of room. We could have so much more stuff in there if we had it. But it's nice. It's coming.
Is that done?
That's all I have.
Okay, by the looks of this, Liz, you've got things happening. Your turn.
Well, or questions. Okay, when I first became a council person, I brought up the East Carbon Community Facebook page. Do you remember that, Christian? And we talked about the name, and you said, well, anybody can use that name. Because I wanted to have it taken down. Well, I'm asking to have that taken down again. It isn't officially East Carbon's page, but our employees are administering that page. And the reason I'm asking is because it looks really bad on our community on East Carbon. I mean, the last post on that mountain lion that was killed, the words that they were using, the C word, the F word, on this page that we're allowing people to post, that's administered by our employees of the city, I think needs to be taken down. I don't know how to do that. And I don't know if we need to make a motion to do that. And maybe, or give it away to someone else to administer the page and put a notice on there that this is not East Carbon's official Facebook page.
Why
Not
don't you
even,
just close it down?
that's what I mean.
I would just close the page down if you don't want to have a page. You don't have to allow
We created
comments.
an official city Facebook page
Okay,
that has East Carbon City on it.
so there's another
So-
official city
But
Facebook
that,
page.
but everyone thinks that this East Carbon community page is East Carbon's official
And it is the
Facebook
city
page.
that
And
has
our
been city employees.
employees are, and yet,
Well, I think you could do that. You could shut it down if you wanted.
and I was just, so it's on the agenda, so can I make a motion to do that?
I think so.
I make a motion that the East Carbon community page be taken down as our community page.
I'll second that.
Okay, questions on the motion? Anyone? Don? Barb?
I think too many people that always complain, people tie that to the East Carbon.
They do. And the words that were used in this last post, I'm like, this is just embarrassing for our city to have those words out there, that people consider this our city page.
Yeah, I agree.
You should be me and going after grants and knowing that those giving us grants are looking at those pages. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not good.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to take down the Facebook East Carbon community page. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed of any?
Hi.
Motion passes, thank you.
Okay,
Is that the corner? The
Pardon?
community corner?
no, it's East Carbon Community. Is it East Carbon Community Corner? Yes, East Carbon Community.
How is the community going to contact?
We have a new Facebook page that's officially the city's page that we're working on and getting it out.
Is that East Carbon?
It's just
City?
starting,
Oh,
East
it's
Carbon.
not up?
City.
It's called East Carbon
East
City.
Carbon City.
We put our agendas on there
Okay.
and we,
So how do you put a post on there?
Well, it's not open to the public to post on it, per se.
That's the
It's
whole
for
reason.
use by the city
Uh-huh.
officials and employees.
But there is
So
a
it's not an
citizen,
open forum, but it's more of a bulletin type thing, right?
yeah,
Information.
information.
Well, how do you
About-
find out what the people like and what they don't like?
Well, it's not a place to complain.
Well, there is a Citizens of East Carbon page
Yeah,
that, I don't know who runs it. It isn't the city's at all, but, I mean, you can, or you can come into or you can come to city council meetings and ask questions.
The city's not required to host any kind of open forum online. So the public could do that. Somebody can have multiple Facebook pages out there that people in the public can set up if they want.
Mhm.
But my thought would be is that the official page for the city should be something that's
Informational,
informational and not,
Official.
yeah.
not just an open forum for
In
the public to
cities
post.
that I have looked at for Facebook pages, that's what they are. They're
Yeah.
informational, things that are going on in the city, things that are happening, things that the public needs to know. But there isn't a post for or
It's not
people.
something that just anybody can post on.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, isn't that kind of communistic?
Well, just a minute here.
Hey, you,
So, just a minute, the forum is not open to the public to speak right now. So, if we need to recognize, the chairman needs to recognize the audience before we have interruptions on the council members' reports here. So if somebody wants to speak, they need to raise their hand and ask to be recognized. But this is the time for each council member to give reports.
So the East Carbon Community page has now been
Right,
voted to be taken down.
okay.
Okay, and then the new Facebook page is, I can't get there. I don't know.
I sent you a link.
Yeah.
I will resend you a link.
Okay.
Yes, I'll do that after the meeting.
All right. Question for you, Liz, on the grant. Maureen Casper said that she sent you a copy that needed to be signed.
Yeah, I
So
did
are
get
you
that.
supposed to sign that?
There was nothing for me to click on to sign,
Okay.
so, but it said it was requesting for you to sign it. So I
So-
don't know.
Question for you, Mayor, who signs that? It's for that grant and for, I'm assuming the funding for
Yes.
that grant.
I think
Well, I'll be
the
glad
mayor-
to sign it.
Yeah, the mayor would need to sign
Okay.
it, so.
All right. Yeah, because I had an email stating that they sent papers to be signed. I never got them, and then I sent them back, and they said, Liz got it. They sent me one. I'll send what I have to you.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Okay, community days, the poster is somewhat finished. That'll be what it sort of looks like until we get the sponsors, and then I'll put the sponsors on there. Inflatables, we have, you know, that Dan and Jen sold.
Yeah,
They're out of business. Not Solika, Malia, and her husband, I can't remember their last name, they bought it. So what I need from you, Liz, is an itemized, if Dan and Jen had an itemized
They did.
cost of what those were
I can just pull
before,
out their statement.
and I can compare it to what they are now
Okay,
with this new,
Yeah.
new owners.
I can scan that and email it to you also.
Okay, and Mary Bowers agreed to do the parade again,
okay, good.
and the breakfast.
good.
And the breakfast?
Mhm.
Wow.
How's she gonna do both?
That's what she did last year,
Mhm.
and
Her
so
daughter.
I did put a notice in on the Citizens of East Carbon page that we need volunteers for the parade. That's hard, that's tough to do the parade and the breakfast.
Mhm.
I know she
Yeah.
had family helping her, but
As long as she's got some help. I'll help her with the parade again, that's no big deal.
Mhm. I'm up there all the time anyway.
Yeah, we're
So,
there.
yeah.
And then, Chuck, in the park where the bathroom is, right on that south side where the grass part is, there's a water leak there, and then there's a water leak next to the parking lot by the, that brick memorial.
Okay.
And I know that, I talked to Cody and them before, but it's a real pretty bad leak, and I don't know if they're just not able to fix it, but it leaks all the time, constantly, and there's a lot of water there.
It just makes a swamp of things down there.
Yeah, and bring those food trucks in there, it isn't good.
Okay. And we've gotta do something with those windows, Chuck. The glass bricks that are busted out. I'll talk to Cody about that too, cause I've
Yeah, I'll
got
get them in the morning.
some ideas about that.
And then the last thing on community days is the grand marshal. Just start thinking,
Okay,
about that. And we'll do that probably around March,
Okay,
April, to give people
I
time.
had an email submitted regarding the Grand Marshal Bill.
Yeah.
To you guys.
Okay.
I remember that one, and maybe that's come to life more right now than it was back then, as needing to be done.
Me, possibly. I'll show you tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's in my emails.
And then I had a lot of, I've had a lot of people asking about doing concerts in the park in the summer. I did mention that we have no budget to do concerts in the park, and bands are expensive. But if we could get people, local people or people that are willing to do that for free, can we do those?
I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
As long as somebody's gonna clean it up, because they can.
Yeah, we'll end up cleaning it
Yeah,
up.
I know.
Have to work around the reservation schedule, but
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be good.
And I checked with the Peace Gardens, they do theirs on Thursday, Lane Mueller, and Helper Vibes is on Saturday, so like a Wednesday or a Friday. What do you think would be the best? Fridays are tough because a lot of people leave, but they're also good for having something to do.
Mhm.
So keep it in mind, we still have a lot of time. Let's see. That's it?
Okay, well, this is Jesse Stewart's turn, but Barbara, if you have a few things on fire and ambulance that we need to know about?
I talked to this gentleman from the state that's going to come down and do our peer support for the police, the fire, and the ambulance, and it's gonna be a full day, like an 8-hour class, and he gave us some dates. And so I just need to get a count from all of us, and this will be a good training for all of us. It will allow us to be able to help each other and help others in the community as we get called for different emergencies and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. And so that's about the only thing I know that has to do with all of us.
That Cody brought last week went pretty well, I think, I hear.
Mm-hmm. They did good. The
Sam, you
autism.
liked it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was good.
All right. I'll say a few things about fire myself tonight. Chuck?
Yeah, I don't wanna double talk,
No, I'll
I don't
cancel.
wanna get in front of you, but, okay, reservoir is sitting at 6 feet down. And of course, right now it looks pretty good for water coming in, but gotta still be careful, hopefully. On March 4th and 5th, we've got to meet with the state over the sewer lagoons. And I don't know exactly what that's going to be all about. The treatment plant, the catwalks are all in. The tile, the walls, they're all in. They're cleaning up. Debbie with filter tech will be there on the 16th, and they're going to start flushing the big tanks. And after that, I think they're going to start thinking about trying the system. It's pretty exciting, scary. Hope it all works out. I know that it's hard for those people with the contractor for the power company putting the poles in, but man, they made a big old, huge hole right there in front of the module's archery range. And hopefully in the morning we're gonna put something in it to slow it down until we can get warm enough to patch it, but you gotta be careful going through there. Hopefully whatever we put in there will stick around a little while. They also busted the sidewalk.
So are they responsible to repair those things?
I think that they would be,
Yeah.
I would say so.
they've been really good, but, like it's, right now, what do? You know, it's wet, it's cold. I think we're just gonna have to either put up a barricade or fill that hole. Cody was the first one to hit it, or his teeth out. Okay, so the maintenance crew's been up to the Peterson. You know more about that than I.
Yeah. I've got that on the list.
Cleaning up a mess up there, getting rid of all the old Sunnyside paperwork, and they found some interesting stuff for Donnie and Barbara in the museum, so maybe Dave knows a little bit more than I know about it. Anyway, that's all I have.
Like papers?
Pictures,
Or-
The old office papers.
Oh, well, that would be good.
There's some of that that is really
We
good.
might be able to use that for the newsletter.
Yeah, and there's some pictures I understand, and
Mhm.
some T-shirts.
Liz got to see.
Yeah, I went up there this morning before I came in and.
A lot of stuff up there. In the building, the Sunnyside building?
Yeah, in the.
In the rec.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
Peterson?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they just took it and threw it in a
No,
room
it's
there.
a mess, I'll tell you.
They were just
I
trying to
didn't
get
know
it
there was
cleaned
that
up.
much stuff in there. It's where like the old supply room was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's,
Oh, wow.
It's a mess.
they took a dump truck load to ECBC. Yeah. But I told them what.
But
not
they
to
didn't throw
away.
anything that was,
No,
that's what I asked Cody, I said, I hope we didn't throw anything away.
no.
So like, what kind of stuff did they throw away? It didn't have personal information on it or anything
No.
like that. Do we have any of that kind of stuff that needs to be shredded?
We went through and there wasn't any personal information, but we went straight to ECBC where it's
Was buried.
buried. So,
Yeah, we didn't take it to the transfer
So they
station.
couldn't go through it?
no,
Yeah.
as soon as it's dumped, it's buried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave, can I bring up one thing before you
Sure
start?
you can.
That thing that you sent the other day about Jones and Mill, does everybody know about that?
I don't know.
No?
I sent it to everyone.
Oh, you did?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just sent it to you
Yeah,
because
okay.
I thought
didn't see it.
Donnie or Chuck would want to.
But Jones and DeMille, they're having workshops for local leaders, they've already had a couple. But, they're free, and they're geared toward government leaders, school boards, and the like. It says on Thursdays at 6 o'clock, the next one will be this Thursday, and it will be a funding workshop, and will highlight different funding opportunities for different projects. So, it's open to everybody, the way I took it.
Where is it?
I was just thinking about
It's at their office.
maintenance. Yeah.
I
I don't know
already
how
had
I
one.
got it.
They had one on, let's see if I can find it. They had two of them. One of them was on pavement preservation, which that might have been pretty interesting.
And I didn't know anything about it
Yeah.
until.
The first one was just an open house, but
Mhm.
anyway, they're free. It says dinner's provided, but we have to RSVP in order for them to get a good head count, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
You can see their scheme that's going on here, though.
Exactly.
You can see what?
The scheme that's
Drum
going
up some
on.
business.
From
They're-
what business?
Mhm.
They're trying to set you up with some stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
they want to do the engineering on it.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I'll take a look at that and
But
consider
the
it.
funding, you know,
Yeah, for
that's a
funding.
good thing.
Yeah, but there is one Thursday at 6 o'clock. That's the funding workshop too, so.
Mhm. I apologize. I just sent it to Donnie because I was thinking, you know, with Chuck and Donnie could go down to that for the maintenance, but I should have sent it to everyone. I don't know how I got it in the first place.
Okay, you okay, Don? All right, bear with me for a while now. The server's been down here, So the office has been closed all day, and it's barely coming to life tonight. Philip was able to get on E-Force about an hour ago, which was part of the crash. And Chris is gonna be back here tonight
Probably around midnight.
from Executech, try to finish it up. He left it with a lot of the stuff reloading and reprogramming. And hopefully we're back and running in the morning. So
He said
that
that's
was-
why he's gonna stop back in.
yeah, that's why he was gonna stop in and make sure we're there. Everything, like Chuck says, is going well at the treatment plant. The draws are coming kind of slow, but Liz is taking care of that the best she can. I guess everybody's aware of the truck that came up missing. The police, well, that was found,
Oh, good,
and
maybe.
they sent us pictures. They sent us picture of the VIN number, so we know it's our truck. Brand new, still sitting there.
Is it still in a good condition?
Oh, it's perfect, looked like to us.
Didn't they just move it from one lot to another?
That's what happened, it got moved from one lot to another,
Thought it was
and
going.
they lost track of it.
That's what I thought first.
The outfit that had it in their custody went out of business. And
That's our luck.
that's
They stole our truck.
That's our luck. And so Young Automotive Group bought that business. So their promises to us was to hurry and get that truck done. We hadn't heard anything since then, but it's on their agenda now. And Sam has even talked to the president and CEO of the Young Automotive Group, so we're on their radar, and we'll get that taken care of. The new utility truck is supposed to be built a week ago. It should end up in Salt Lake by the middle of this month. It'll be sent out for a bed liner and to have the lights programmed and stuff on it. So we're really anticipating these two trucks getting here. The rec center, we had a big flood. That's what started all of this. We had a vent pipe come out of the ceiling, a 4-inch one, left that 4-inch hole in the vent pipe. When the snow melted, we had us a flood in there.
On the west wing?
This,
Or,
over in the old library.
Oh,
So the guys were in there cleaning that up, putting the pipe back up in the hole and getting it all vacuumed out. And I told them, let's pull that carpet back and see what we've got. But I saw that glue and I thought, oh man, this might be asbestos. So we ordered 2 test kits and have taken 2 tests and samples. They were set off. Hopefully we get the results tomorrow.
didn't the school district go up and remove all the asbestos up there at one time? Or they were
We
supposed to?
did, we paid for it.
I know, but before they even closed the school down.
Well, I don't know,
Yeah.
because when our people went in, they found a lot of asbestos. Maybe this place is clear and fine, but if it's not, we'll have to decide what we're gonna do there.
They didn't want anything to do with it.
No.
So that was a rude awakening, let's just put it that way. That we needed to do that, kind of slowed down what we were doing too, and delayed it for a week. I have a contractor here tomorrow on the police building across the way. Ryan Baldwin was gonna do that for us, and I don't know what happened to him. If you should see him, just ask him if he's okay, you know? I don't know why it was gonna go gung-ho, and then he didn't do it, isn't gonna do it, it doesn't look like. So, I'll have another contractor here tomorrow. Mayor Corianis, myself, and Mayor Timothy were at the Capitol last week with the legislature on this dispatch fees that we pay. We pay about $30,000 a year, and the bigger the city, the bigger it gets. Like Price pays $117,000 a year for dispatch services. The county pays $417,000. So we met. Christine was there. It went well. I think it's going to leave committee and go to the floor that the state picks up the whole fees. Instead of, I think they pick up 65% of it now, we pick up the rest, which is, like I said, $30,000. I'd like to have that in our pocket. So Christine was going to force that through the best she could, and we'll see if we win or not.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice. Another $30,000 freed up would really be nice. I've been meeting with the commissioners a little bit. The fire contract is up for renewal with the county. That's to take care of their areas that they pay us to do. The mayors will meet on the 13th, try to put a contract together. But right now that contract pays for about 51% of our fire expenses here in East Carbon. So we want to keep that rolling and going. And I think it'll go good. But, we'll just have to see what happens there. They want to negotiate a little bit. Chuck and I will be meeting with the DNR tomorrow. I filed a protest on permit application for West Ridge Mine for the property around it, which encroaches on the reservoir. So we're going to oppose that. That's tomorrow. Chuck just mentioned that we're getting those records taken care of at the old Sunnyside records. Probably a year or two ago, we talked about getting the new server. When we got the new server, software needed to be transferred to it. Maybe you remember Fat Pot? When we talked about Fat Pot, we decided not to spend that $10,000 and have it transferred over because we'd get these new programs real soon. Spillman program, from what I understand, we won't see it until the first of next year. So they're still doing it the old-fashioned way, our police department, but so is everybody else, for the most part. So that's where that's at. Snowtail sites, timberline just came to life here about an hour before I got here. There's 21 inches at Timberline, and Corral, there's 18 inches there of snow. Like I mentioned, Cody's gone out for bids on the cemetery and the ball fields for hydroseeding. We'll see what that amounts to. He has a bid, the electrical bid for the steam cleaner at the fire station. Did we advertise that, Liz? For electrical bids?
We did not, because we had ECI.
Okay. We probably ought to put that out for bid, and I'm not gonna mention anything more about it.
Okay.
Chuck mentioned the sewer lagoons. Let's see if we can't squeeze some money out of these people to put a blender in that chunks it all up before it goes into the lagoons. Makes it better to do its thing, dissipate. So we're hoping for that. We'll see what they have to say. But Russ Seeley was here a month or two ago and liked what we've done down there. So we'll see what the state has to say. Of course, Russ is the state. We're thinking about the open house for the new treatment plant and when to have it. So we'll just keep that in mind. Probably put it off till we get some good weather because it's a mud bog,
Yeah.
so we'll do that. Other than that, since the server was down, we don't have payables tonight. But under new business, the Rural Water Conference for Cody and Billy, to send them to it. Do you have any numbers yet, Liz?
So registration fees are $390 apiece. That's for the Wednesday through Friday conference. That's the full conference. The whole week is testing, but they don't need testing. The hotel rooms, the ones that I could find with government rates were $120 a night.
Okay.
So they'll be there for 3 nights.
I make a motion that we approve Cody and Billy to go to the RWAU conference.
I'll second.
Yeah, the motion is second to send Cody and Billy to the Rural Water Conference. All in favor?
I
Opposed to any? Motion passes. Thank you.
Mayor, can I ask you a question on the baseball fields, the hydro seed? Are they going to do anything about the size of the, because right now our kids can't play.
And this is Little League. Little League
Okay.
that we're looking
And
at
isn't
right
that
now.
the same thing? Is our fields are not up
They're
to
not regulation.
regulation?
It wouldn't be hard to fix. Well, they'd have to extend the fences out.
Does that have to be at the Little League too?
Yes.
That's what they're talking about.
Mhm. That's why we can't play other teams who don't come here, because we're not at regulation.
We'll
in our
take a look at
fields.
that.
Ours down the line are 180 feet, and I think it's gotta be 200, something like that.
And the pitching mounds.
The pitching mound has to be 18
incorrect.
inches up.
Mhm.
But we went through all that when we had All-Stars one year. But it would be something to move that fence out, but if we're gonna do that,
Before they do the hydro seed.
I mean, if we're gonna, we anticipate
you're
we're
gonna
gonna
put
have
money
enough
into it,
teams to play.
Might as well
Other
do
teams, yeah.
regulation, yeah.
Would we have to move the scoreboard back too?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Good shot, Liz.
That fence is living, it's in pretty rough shape anyway. It's rotten. It needs to be fixed.
Well, we're looking at a grant for that too. So that's good to know right now, because those are the numbers that I need to put in for the grant. So anything else you think of, hear about?
And are you thinking about the Babe Ruth field as well?
We're gonna get Terry Young in there to smooth out that lip.
Okay, yeah, because that's definitely not regulation.
Yeah, and try to figure out where the bases are and all, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
We get the kids.
Yeah, they struggled so hard with.
Did they have them last year?
Barely.
Yeah.
3 teams.
Barely.
Barely.
Oh,
They just
really?
play together, and they barely have enough kids.
Yeah,
We had
it's
3 teams.
pretty sad.
I think if they played other teams, of course, the Babe Ruth can go and play
Yeah.
other teams, but it's really a hindrance for our kids, because when you're pitching off a pitching mound, and it isn't regulation, and you go pitch at another field, you're off. So if we can get regulation for our kids, they would be better off as well when they play other teams.
And there's a lot of work there that needs to be done in the grandstands and all in that thing, the park. So,
Yeah, you wouldn't mind doing all this.
If
but
you have
no
kids,
participation.
or if you have
we-
kids coming, other teams coming in, and
We almost never even had Little League last year, remember?
yeah.
We kept going out door to door and asking.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barely
gosh, and they
made.
used, like just a couple of years ago, they
Too much
had
of this. That's all we want to do.
Yeah,
Wow.
the kids, they don't want to participate.
That's what I'm worried about with the archery.
No,
Don't
I think
worry,
ours
there's-
will go. I think yours will go.
I think it'll be all right. And if it isn't,
We tried.
we tried. So that's where that is. All right.
Mayor, one
Yes.
question. So, right at the end of last last meeting, you brought up about the ABC Learning Center.
Right.
What, did we ever decide on that, or what's going to happen
Like I
there?
said, we'll meet with the commissioners, and I've got to get with Mary and see where we're gonna go with that, so,
Taxes with the commissioners.
yeah. So that's on my agenda too, so.
Okay.
All right. Time to adjourn, anybody?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, also run to it.
Mayor,
Yes.
what would it take to, get a furnace in here?
Okay.
Brenda and I are looking at feasibility of opening a childcare center. And we're looking for a place and we don't know what to go in.
For childcare, you can pretty much just bring it for business license.
We don't want
Want to do it in your home?
No.
No? You need to find somebody.
Yes.
Okay, so